Hey guys, Ethan Davis Music here. I'm back, baby. I'm doing more tutorials. It's really exciting. At least I'm really excited about it. Today we are going to deconstruct the hit Roxanne by Arizona Zervas. Shouts out to this guy. He's been grinding for at least 3 years, probably way longer. And he's finally got a hit. This song is absolutely massive right now, and I'm really excited to show you how I recreated it. Let's get into Ableton right now. Woo!
I ate too much, but I got Uber Eats at the door now. Yeah, I ate too much, but all I wanna do is eat more now.
All right, welcome back to Ableton. We are doing this Arizona Zervas with Roxanne. Shouts out to him, an independent artist. He has been putting out songs pretty solid for about 3 years now, singles after singles, singles on singles, trying to do something. And this song just blows up, I think, from TikTok. Congrats to him. This is how I remade it. Let me play it really quick.
Yeah, shout out to the munchies right now. Sometimes you just eat a little too much, you know what I mean? Just wanna try a little something right now. I ate too much, but I got Uber Eats at the door now. Yeah, I ate too much, but all I wanna do is eat more now.
Alright, so the beat, I've listened back and forth. It's pretty close. I think I actually found some of the same samples that they were using. But let's deconstruct how this was made. So it's really only, I think, 4 elements. You have drums, you have guitar, you have bass and vocals, and then this little whistle sound that I've been trying to figure out. I'm not entirely sure how they did it, but it's really dope. And of course, there's this extra little camera noise in the beginning of the song because he's like, all for the gram. So anyway, we got these drums. Let's take a look. We have our kick pattern right here. Pretty classic. Right? So then they bring in the clap. The song just starts off with like almost everything in anyway. Basic hi-hat. I did some processing on these drums. On the kick, I used Transient Master, which is a Native Instruments plugin. You don't necessarily need this. You can kind of play with the fades. If you like go to a sample here and go here and click on fades, you can kind of play with how long you want the kick sample to be. So that's shorter. You can make it super short, or you can make it longer. And that's basically what Transient Master is doing, but it's also making the beginning of the sample louder. Like here, I'll give you an extreme example. So you hear how it makes the click in the beginning of the sample louder. Anyway, I was just messing around with that, trying to get it to sound more like theirs. I think I boosted some low end. Yeah, because their kicks seem to have a little bit more low end on it. And then we got this clap here, more Transient Master and EQ happening just to get it closer to their sound with some EQ, flattener, adjusted preset. You can pause and use it if you want, or just freaking drag in a good sounding clap. You don't need to do all this stuff. I was just doing this to try and get it to sound as close as possible to the original. And then you have the snare here. This is a classic hip hop pattern. And even if you sped it up to like 200, which was actually 100 as well, this is like basically the same beat as Drake Nice for What, you know? Without a follow, without a mention, I'm really piping up, you know? That kind of vibe. It's the same type of beat, just slowed down. You got this open hi-hat here. And that's it for the drums. I mean, the whole song basically just has the same drums. A lot of these hip-hop or singer, Post Malone style songs have just the same drum beat happening the whole time. And it's great. It totally works. They take it out and they bring it back in, but they don't really switch the beat up very much. Maybe sometimes they'll take the hi-hats out, so it's like,
Yeah, shout out to the munchies right now.
you know, they got this camera noise in the beginning. Took that from Splice, put some reverb on it. Nothing crazy happening here. Just a little reverb and EQ, and then we have this whistle thing. So if you listen to the original, I'm not going to play the original because I don't want to get any copyright stuff happening, but there's this whistle thing going on. It sounds like this. Right? And I basically use this woodwind jungle preset from Splice on Serum to get a similar sound, and it sounds a lot like the original, actually. I was pretty surprised. They probably used just the normal person whistling and just processed it, but there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do with this preset. It's actually pretty amazing. You'd be surprised what you find if you just put a few minutes into looking at Splice. And then this is like a shortened version of that sound. I just played with the envelope here and shortened the sustain and the decay until I got a sound I liked. And those two things together, it's just nice and simple, playing a little rhythm action. So I tried to figure out what they were playing on guitar, and this is what I came up with. It was close enough, but I felt like some notes missing. So I used Omnisphere to get a guitar sound, which you totally don't have to use. You can use another guitar plugin. I think Ableton even has some stock guitar stuff. But I would advise learning to play the real guitar, because there's a lot more freedom in that. I put a lot of effects on this to try and get it close. Let's see what it sounds like without any of these effects on it. Let me group them really quick. So that's the dry signal, and I put quite a bit of different things on it. Let me show you really quick. First, I put Guitar Rig on this Black Hole Sun preset thing, which I believe adds a lot. Okay, I don't know why every time I freaking open Guitar Rig, it switches the preset, and I have no idea where that other preset was. I think it was in here. Give me a second. Where is it? I don't know how to search in these either. Black Hole, there. And I believe I just took off everything except for the rotator. Change it to slow. Turn down balance. That kind of makes it a little bit more wavy and ethereal. I use this other Waves guitar plugin and just put some chorus, delay, reverb, flanger. I'm just basically throwing effects on it until it sounds cool, right? I use ping pong delay to widen it. You can copy the settings. I EQ'd it a lot with this. I mean, a lot. I EQ'd a crap ton. This isn't doing anything. I don't know why it's there. Delete that. And then compressed it with this little Waves CLA2A and some reverb. So before, dry in the middle, afterwards wavy, wide, reverb out on the sides, plus these notes. And there you have the guitar. That actually took some time. It took me a little while to mess with that.
Yo, shout out to the munchies right now.
But to summarize how you would process a guitar for like a hip-hop song, basically just scoop the lows out, make sure it sounds relatively clean. It seems like that's what these guys are doing. So next we have the bass. The bass also took a while because the bass in the original song is playing really, really low, but if you listen to it on your phone, you can still hear the bass, so there's some harmonic action going on there. And so I'll show you. I just made a preset in Splice, and this is what I came up with. You're welcome to copy the settings. There's nothing going on in the effects or global. It's just all this oscillator stuff, and it sounds like this. First, it was like this. Then I was like, okay, we need a little more high end. And so I put an octave up saw wave. And then I just basically low passed all that. I compressed it with a CLA2A. You don't need to do that. I sidechained it to the kick with a compressor. Then at the end, I did more EQing to take out all the high stuff that we didn't need. And I put the EQ after the compressor so we don't get any clicks. And that's the bass.
Yo, shout out to the munchies right now.
And that's the beat right there, all that. So you got your whistle stuff that comes in. Right? And it feels pretty good. You know, it's a really cool beat, and just with the most fire hook ever over it. It's so brilliant. I didn't sing the same thing because obviously we talked about the copyright stuff, so I said I ate too much.
I ate too much, but I got Uber Eats at the door now. Yeah, I ate too much, but all I wanna do is eat more now.
So it's just classic flow over a dope beat, knocked it out on TikTok. Congratulations, Arizona Zervas. You killed it. I will show you more of my vocal processing maybe in another video. Comment below if you have any questions or anything like that for me. I would love to get some feedback and to just start a dialogue about this kind of stuff. Anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch this. This is my take on Arizona Zervas' Roxanne. Peace out.